This is the injury report presented by NYU Langone Health. Yankees pitcher Fernando Cruz threw a 20-pitch bullpen session on Wednesday. And good news, Yankees fans, he's expected to start facing live hitters just as soon as Saturday. So in today's injury report, we're going to get an update on Cruz's shoulder inflammation with Dr. Guillem Gonzalez-Lomas of NYU Langone Sports Medicine Center, so we can get an idea on when Cruz is going to get back on the mound. Doc, thanks for hopping on with this. Cruz joined a laundry list of Yankees pitchers that were put on the injury list this season. But let's say he kind of gutted it out and played through this shoulder inflammation. How much worse could the shoulder have gotten, and which surgery could have been something that would have been necessary at some point?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's always nice to take a little breather from basketball and hockey playoffs. So it's a nice little baseball sorbet here, a little palate cleanser. Obviously not good news, though, for the Yankees, with Fernando Cruz. But you always have to think about, what could happen if you just try to gut it out and play through it. And that is not something you want to do with a pitcher. These guys are very refined athletes. And if you overdo it, you can put them out for a long period of time. So right call to let them rest, let it calm down, maybe give them a little medication.
So what would be the best and worst case scenario for how he recovers and when he could potentially, return to the mound, full go?
Yeah, it's always hard in these cases because the amount of information we have about the injury is fairly limited. So look, overuse in the shoulder can be anything from just a little bit of tendonitis, a little bit of bursitis. So just inflammation of the soft tissues around the shoulder. Sometimes pitchers can get something at the end of their collarbone. It's a joint called the AC joint. That can sometimes be kind of an annoyance for them. And again, just letting it calm down is the right thing to do. Really, the landscape, the spectrum could be as short as just a few games. And sometimes it takes a few weeks. And again, you have to test them with at least as close to game intensity as you can. Once they've passed that test, you can get them back on the mound.
The AC joint. I sprained that in college, and that was like every time I lifted my arms or shoulders to try and catch a pass, it was like I was in some sort of pain. So talk to us about this rehab process, because I was a receiver. Pitchers, they need their shoulders. So how are the trainers going to ramp up his workload without re-injuring the shoulder? And what exactly are they monitoring during the rehab process?
One thing to know about pitchers is they are constantly in a state of rehab for their shoulder. So if you've ever spent any time in a baseball locker room, pitchers are always doing exercises to strengthen the muscles around the shoulder, their rotator cuff, the muscles that connect to their shoulder blade. Big deal is also, believe it or not, maintaining range of motion, especially in the back part of the shoulder. So that's something that can get very stiff. So they're very used to doing these exercises. What the training staff will be looking for is, as they're getting stronger, painless exercises, painless rehab, then moving to some throws. They'll generally start, short toss, long toss, at all times monitoring for any increase in discomfort. As long as he doesn't have any, he can advance to the next level.
All right, Doc, it wouldn't be injury report unless I asked you this next question, million-dollar question on the line. Is this an injury you often see in someone who isn't a professional baseball pitcher? And would their course of action just be, resting the muscle in terms of their rehab?
Yeah, so look, like anything, we get what these guys get. We have the benefit of being able to kind of modify our activity. At this level, it's their livelihood, and every game matters. And so big thing is, if it hurts, don't do it. Give it a period of relative rest. You don't have to sit on the couch and just not do anything, but just change your activities, let it calm down. And obviously, if it's just not getting better, another big sign is rest pain. If you're getting any pain at night or just at rest, that's the time to go see a medical professional and get it checked out.
All right, Doc, thanks for hopping on with us. Appreciate you with the update.
Great as always. Thanks.